welcome to the Webcast for Thursday, August 27th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. Visible satellite early this morning shows extensive cloud cover streaming into the region from south to north associated with the remnants of tropical storm Iselle. There have also been a few lightning strikes already observed on the central coast, and the remnants of Iselle are going to bring significant impacts to the region over the next 36 to 48 hours. There are two items to watch with Iselle. The highest confidence impact is a beneficial one that we're already seeing, and that's the large increase in cloud cover today and Friday. This may leave temperatures cooler than expected, though it will still be warm and humidity will not increase very much since this is mostly upper atmospheric moisture. But the overcast conditions will bring some reduction in fire danger relative to previous expectations, especially across most of Southern California where lightning is not expected to be a concern. Speaking of lightning, that is the other item of concern with Iselle. It is now likely that enough instability will be realized for isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms to affect all of Central California both today and Friday, with storms likely to be fast-moving and mostly dry except for over the higher terrain of the Sierra tomorrow, where wetting rains are more possible. This potential has definitely increased since yesterday. However, while dry lightning is now considered likely and has already been observed on the central coast, there is still considerable uncertainty as to how widespread the dry thunderstorms will be. And if anything, tomorrow, Friday, will likely see greater storm coverage versus today, so don't be lulled if we don't see too much activity out there today, as the better chances are likely to be tomorrow. Because of the increased concern over lightning potential, high-risk triggers have been added for several PSAs over Central California for both today and tomorrow. Here's the map for today, and here's what it looks like for tomorrow, with the risk generally shifting north and east with time. At least a few to potentially several problematic fire ignitions are likely, though again there does remain a good deal of uncertainty in storm coverage. Cooling temperatures and increasing humidity will start to mitigate growth potential this weekend and into next week, but this is far enough away so as not to preclude high-risk issuances for potential ignitions and spread over the next couple of days. The other story today does remain the heat. Temperatures will likely fall a few degrees over yesterday due to the increased cloud cover, but it will still be a very hot day with valley areas getting into the mid-90s to around 105. We had a very warm night last night, so we'll have a high launching point for today even with the cloud cover. Humidities will also remain fairly low today with minimums around 10 to 20%. We will start to see both daytime and nighttime humidities gradually trend upwards by the end of this week and the weekend. Winds will be fairly light through Friday, but with some locally breezy north to northwest flow from Santa Barbara County to the Mojave Slopes. Gusty winds will also be possible near any thunderstorms. Taking a step back to see the big picture, strong high pressure remains centered over the desert southwest, bringing us these very hot conditions and also helping to steer the moisture from Iselle into our region. But we continue to eye a major pattern change later this weekend and into next week. A deep and persistent troughing pattern will set up across the west coast, bringing us a dramatic cool down and ridding us of the current very high fire danger conditions. So once we get past the volatile and uncertain period the next couple of days, we can turn our attention to some real relief on the way next week with that trough. We'll start to gradually cool this weekend, and here's a look at the forecast highs by the time we get to Tuesday, with most of the valleys plunging into the upper 70s and 80s, 15 to 25 degrees cooler than where we're at right now. And it looks like the cooler weather will be in no hurry to go away. We'll likely keep temperatures below average throughout next week, along with a much deeper marine layer and higher humidities, especially west of the coastal slopes. The cooler pattern will bring shorter burn periods and tend to reduce fire danger. Breezy to strong onshore flow can also be expected within the trough, with westerly winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour and gusts to 50 miles per hour possible across many of the interior mountain ridges and desert passes starting Saturday and continuing well into next week. So while fire danger will decrease overall, locally elevated fire weather conditions could develop, especially across the deserts and desert slopes, where the higher winds will overlap with some lingering dryness. But leading up to the big cool down, fire danger remains very high. ERC values have risen to the 90th to 97th percentile in most PSAs, near their peaks of the season. Dead and live fuel moistures are also at or below critical levels in many of the low to mid elevations. So fire danger is very high across most of the region, considering the flammable fuel conditions. So in terms of fire potential, it really is all about the next 2 to 4 days due to the combination of lingering extreme heat, lightning concerns, and very dry fuels. This is definitely a stretch to remain on very high alert. But once we get to early next week, things will be looking quite a bit better with the cooler temperatures, and fire potential will drop substantially. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. Next one will be on Friday, August 28th.